Hello and welcome to this lovely little hotel room here in Prague. I am packing my stuff because I have to check out from this hotel in half an hour. And also I decided to check in online even though I'm dropping a bag off so that I can choose my seats now. So yeah, done that. I've got my boarding passes and yeah, I think let's go. One thing I really love about Prague is the public transport. It just works so well. Of course, I prefer the trams, but even the bus I had to transfer to get to the airport was reasonably nice. I don't think I've ever seen a combined trolleybus and regular bus in one vehicle in any other city. I was quite early, so I sat down for a coffee and a croissant, which admittedly wasn't very good. Despite having already checked in online, I went to the counter to request a printed boarding pass. It's something I always like to have. The check-in agent was incredibly friendly. It was a 10 out of 10 customer service experience. With that done, I headed through security. The walk from there was quite long, but I had loads of time to kill. I arrived a bit early and my flight was delayed, so I wandered around the terminal for a bit. I found this reasonably comfortable area but didn't stick around for long. Instead, I went for a walk past this little music exhibition, which I, as a classical music student, appreciated. After that, I reached a spotter-friendly end of the terminal and headed back. I found it a bit funny that this anti-scam ad was on the departure side of the terminal. Also ironic considering how many scammy exchange offices and ATMs there are at the arrival side of this airport. Anyway, back at the larger part of the terminal, I sat down at the Bagueterie Boulevard and ordered what was, for airport standards, a very reasonably priced and tasty crepe. Then I did some more exploring and found this really nice and quiet area. My plane finally landed and boarding quickly began. Lufthansa Group Airlines used window middle aisle strategy when it comes to boarding groups. A big part of the reason why this trip was exciting was that I was flying on two plane types I have never flown before, an E195 and an A220. So, the first impressions of an Embraer? Really nice. I must admit I have a soft spot for small regional planes though. I even like the CRJs, which are famous for being despised by many travellers. But this is even nicer. After a stroll through the cabin, the red carpet is a nice touch, I sat down in what was the most comfortable airline seat I ever flew in. The plane was 13 years old, which is not that much. Even so, the design looks a bit dated, which is probably what gives it part of the charm. I prefer fabric seats like these to the now vastly more popular synthetic leather. The legroom was superb for an economy class product. Or maybe it's just I got too used to flying low-fare and charter airlines, which cram as many seats as possible into their cabins. Although it must be said that European legacy carriers like Lufthansa do the same now. The seat next to me was empty, which also contributed greatly to the level of comfort. The lavatory was reasonable, nothing special. I was served a bottle of water and Swiss's signature chocolate. Is it really the best in the air, like they advertise it? I didn't find it anything special, to be honest. We started our descent and the views became nicer and nicer with the lakes around Zurich. We flew past these houses, really close to the runway. I can't imagine what it must be like to live there. The noise must be unbearable. It's definitely a prime plane spotting location though. With that, we were on the ground. I caught a glimpse of the Emirates A380 and a Swiss A340. After deboarding, I rushed through the terminal as we landed late, and I'd already have a relatively short transfer window if we were on time. I had to traverse quite a few hallways, but the rushing turned out to be completely unnecessary. My second flight has been delayed as well. This was also my first time at Zurich, an airport a lot of people like. Well, I didn't like it. I found it ugly and dated. The atmosphere wasn't very nice due to low ceilings, and to top it off, it was quite hot. The air conditioning clearly isn't up to the task in the summer heat. But it is a spotter-friendly airport, and I felt a bit of a relief when I finally saw our plane arrive. An 8-year-old A220-100. Spoiler, the relief didn't last long. After boarding, different cabin crew members counted the passengers 4 times. Apparently, there was one more passenger on board than what the E-gates counted. It turned out to be an issue with the gate. However,
passengers on board were supposed to be on board. So far the good news. The bad news is we've missed our slot, new slot in 1 hour and 30 minutes from now on. We're in contact with our network operations control in order to try to get a new slot. The reason for the slot is weather en route. There are severe thunderstorms overhead Austria. We'll try now to find a new routing and I'll keep you advised about any updates. I do regret the situation very much and yeah, thank you for your patience.
luckily, the pilots managed to find a new route through Italy, and we were airborne a lot quicker than in 90 minutes. This did have one nice side effect. As I was seating on the left side of the plane, I was exposed to some nice view of the spectacular Swiss Alps. I could also see the weather above Austria we were avoiding. Those thick clouds spanned all the way to 30,000 feet. Now, let's talk about the cabin. The legroom was good here too, and the seats were really nice, although in a much more modern way than those on the Embraer. The large windows are also a great feature, and these small information screens provide some useful info as well. The lavatory was very spacious. The landing was nothing special. This time I was offered a chocolate upon exiting the aeroplane. And this is it. Thank you for watching. This flight happened in summer of 2024, but I only got around to making the video a year later. I hope I haven't forgotten any interesting details. I hope to see you again in my other videos. Goodbye.